Okay, welcome everybody. It is March 11th, 5:31 p.m. I'm going to call this meeting of the Brookline Commission on Disability to order. And I'll begin with a roll call vote. And Sarah Lynn Allaire,
Here.
Lynn Michek,
Here.
Joan Mahone,
Here.
Henry Winkleman,
Henry?
Here.
Liz
Here.
Stryer,
Oh, sorry. 1 second.
Here.
and
Yeah, could you hear me?
Elaine. We can hear you, Henry.
Henry,
We
it
can
took
hear
a
you.
second.
Okay, good.
You were frozen, but it got fixed.
So Elaine Ober did tell me that she'd be late
Okay,
and
cool.
not heard from John Van Scoyac.
And Nancy,
And Nancy Moore is here.
Hi,
Okay,
Nancy.
Hi.
so with quorum, we'll go ahead and get started. I believe the first item on the agenda is public comment. Public comment is an opportunity to make the commission members aware of issues that are not on the agenda. Is there any public comment?
there is no members of the public in attendance at this time, so there is no need for public comment.
Then I will close public comment. What is next on the agenda?
Approval of minutes?
Okay. Are there any comments on the minutes other than, oh my God?
Was thinking that it was a lot of information in February.
If anybody wants to know what's going on with the MBTAC line accessibility project,
Totally.
they're going to get more information from our minutes than they will the MBTA. I know that much. So I
understood it better after doing the minutes than I did in the meeting.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you are currently the expert on the accessibility project of the MBTA. So with that, I will are there any comments on the minutes?
You can move them together or move them separately.
Okay, I will, well, I'll make a motion
I
to
thought
move
they were
them
good.
together, and see if it passes. So I will make a motion to move all three sets of minutes as one item. That would be the January minutes, February minutes, and the subcommittee minutes of the ADA Parking Committee.
And
I second.
just so you know, Elaine Ober has just joined us.
Oh, great.
Okay,
Hi, Elaine.
okay. So Elaine Ober
I
is
seconded.
here. Okay, Henry seconded. So I will go, Sarah Lynn Allaire,
Hi.
Joan Mahone.
I actually wasn't at the meeting because I got.
You can
Which
still
one?
vote. If you've
Okay.
read them, you can
Hang
still
on,
vote.
hang on, please.
Sorry.
I will, let me explain it, okay? So, Joan, just so you know, the select board changed the rules a while back, and they said that if you read the minutes, you can still vote on the minute. You don't, no longer have to be at the meeting, okay? So as long as as long as you've read them, you can vote. So I'm gonna go again, I'm gonna say Joan Mahone.
Pass because I didn't read them.
So you abstained,
Abstain, that's the word.
abstain, okay. Lynn
Both
Michek.
of them?
Yes.
Okay, Henry, did you have a question?
No, I did not.
Okay. I'm sorry, so now I've lost track of my, Lynn Michek,
Yes.
okay. Elaine Ober,
Yes.
okay. Liz Stryer,
Yes.
Henry Winkleman,
Yes.
and the chair votes aye. So the minutes are approved as written. Okay. What's next on the agenda?
Sarah, you're muted.
I apologize. Next on the agenda is new business. First thing under new
Okay.
business is building connection seminar, John Mahone.
Okay,
Excuse me.
okay, so Joan attended a seminar with the town called Building Connections. And there were some tools and techniques that she wanted to tell us about. So she called me and asked me for a little time on the agenda. So I'm going to turn it over to Joan Mahone.
Good evening. I just want to say that for some reason or other, my full screen is not up and I would like to caption the meetings. So can someone adjust that for me?
I mean, captioning is running. I have no other way of adjusting your screen.
How to get me back on the screen. All right. Well, anyway. So, all right. Well, good evening. And I, as Jim said, I attended this workshop that was on March 1st to March 8th, an hour and a half each. And it was presented by a group called Essential Partners. And their goal is to improve communication between different groups in individual towns. And there were 90 participants.
Wow.
Arlington, let's see, I have a list, of course, in my papers. Arlington, Newton, Lexington, Brookline, Watertown. There were at least 10 communities that were represented that signed on to do this. And I found it very interesting. And I'm not going to go into big detail. I'll just do the more the macro stuff. The idea was, and what appealed to me was the second session, which it was um is how to communicate better and what to say and how to approach a conversation, especially with people who maybe don't agree with you, and at the same time find common ground. And they differentiated the way to speak and address issues was they highlighted questions of persuasion, which are what they call door slammers, and the other were questions of understanding. And we broke out into groups to discuss these and create where we were given issues to discuss and supposed to be the devil's advocate, sort of like a debate, but see how we could implement the ideas that they had recommended and use the language that they recommended. One of the big things that they started out with were communication agreements. So when you're in a group like ours or any other, that's funny because I said pass, because one of the things they say, if you're not willing to respond or ready to respond, you say pass. Be curious and seek to understand and to participate and make space for others and things that they might want to say. Speak for yourself and from your own experience, and honor time limits, and also no interruptions or side chit chat. So talking over each other is not a good thing. And I know I'm speaking from experience and family, we tend to do that. And that kind of interruption in a meeting, in a commission, or other, there are a lot of people from the communities that were involved in the human rights commissions. And this kind of stuff. And, even though you're all like, we are all searching and looking and we have the same goals, we may differ. And so we have to be patient and listen. And it was hard, even in the small groups that we did, 3 or 4, um, to to really be aware, to stop and listen deeply. It's one of the things that listen deeply to understand and not interrupt. So that was those were some of the tools that you gave us a guideline, shall I say? And another, so the questions of persuasion is very interesting because it's something I can apply personally, family and friends and things, and on groups. And one of the questions, they had 3 things they say that not these are door slammers, they call them. And if you say to somebody, well, why don't you do this? Or why don't you think you should? I know should is a big word. We shouldn't use. And then why do you even care about that anyway? Another door slammer. People just, and isn't it true that, and when you really think about it, it sets people apart a little bit, and it puts people maybe on the defensive. And the other sheet that they handed out, there were many, were the questions of understanding, which were they phrased as window openers or door openers. And questions of understanding can be phrased such as, what made you want to, what experiences in your life caused you to believe what you believe that? The next little box was, how did this change the way you see the world? What did you learn? And what was it like? How was it different? Can you describe it more? So it's really giving people permission to share their ideas without making them feel, like, if you why would you think that and what happened. It was hard to follow through on that because I think we're all good at communicating, but sometimes we slip, and I know I slip by interrupting a lot. So it was very well run. It was and they go around to different communities and are hired by lots of different people to work on different projects. And to get people to come to see, even though they, if you're in a community, there's one woman who was an activist in a community, and she was finding it very difficult because even though everybody wanted the same thing, there was dissonance in the group. And how do you come together and how do you have that dialogue? So it was a very valuable tool, I thought. And I was really glad I participated in it. I thought, oh, a Sunday afternoon, an hour and a half, but it went by so fast. People were very, very engaging and nice and thoughtful. So if you ever have an opportunity to um, participate in one of these workshops, it's called Essential Partners, and it was building constructive conversations through community. So that was something I wanted to share with you, and we can take with us here in the commission. So I promise not to interrupt. I'll try.
Well, thank you, John. I did read some of the material you sent over, and I wanted to share it, but I noticed that all of the documents do say that it cannot be shared because it's all copywritten. So,
Right, right.
but I read some of the information. It was very good. I can tell you from personal experience, years and years and years ago, when I first got into sales, there was an older salesman, and no matter what I, no matter what I said, I'd ask somebody a question. I'd say, oh, you don't want some tickets to the Boston Red Sox game, do you? And old George would say to me, Jimmy, you got to turn that into a positive question. You don't start questions with you don't want. You start questions with do you, you
Yes.
know? And he'd always say that to me. Jimmy, turn that into a positive question. So,
So
but thank you for sharing. I mean, if anybody has any comments, please go ahead. And if
Got
not,
my hand raised.
oh, I'm sorry, Henry, go ahead.
So
Oh, you're
I think
bouncing in and out.
this is like a good way of thinking. I don't know what to do.
You sound okay.
Am I better now?
Yep.
No. Okay. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna turn off the video. And sometimes that improves the audio connection. I just wanted to say that it got me thinking. How really good stuff. And this is like
Henry, I'm sorry, you are fading in and out.
something
I
we
don't hear
could
anything.
use somehow. Now, I'm fade me out. I'm gonna try and log back in. No,
Okay,
might work.
you got it.
Sorry.
You got it. Okay, we'll come back to you. Okay, any other comments on this? If not, if we have time at the
Okay.
end, if we have time at the end, remind me because it started with being agreeable, and I have a joke, but I'll save it for the end if we have time.
Okay,
That way I can build up the anticipation.
wonderful.
Okay. All right. What's next on the agenda, Sarah?
So next on the agenda, one second, is, I apologize. The ADA Parking Subcommittee report. Would you like me to share my screen?
Yeah, please go ahead.
One second. Move this so everybody can see. And there we go.
Okay, I don't know if everybody's had a chance to read this, but I did write the report, and then I sent it to Henry and Lynn to make sure that they were on board with everything that's in the report. We went out multiple times last year, beginning in June. I believe the first time that this was brought up was May 14th. May 14th meeting. It was brought up by Lynn Michek, who said that we have areas of accessible parking that are blocked by flower beds, posts, lamps, mailboxes, etc. So we wanted to take a look at this, and we created the subcommittee, and we went out multiple times. I forget how many times we went out. I can tell you that I was surprised when I started going through the data that we had evaluated 70 spots. I can tell you, it felt like 170, but 70 spots is still a very large sample of the 207 that the town has. And once we did this, as it states in the report, we began to break down items into various categories, inaccessible, blocked, obstructed, other, and things of that nature. Blocked being completely blocked. I mean, there's a lamppost there, there's a pole there, whatever. Obstruction is something that we felt could be moved, be corrected pretty quickly. A bike rack, trash cans, things of that nature. So we broke this all down, and you can see in the report the ultimate breakdown was that those 73% of the spots, of the 70 spots, were not blocked, 27% were blocked. And that's the big issue. The other issues were signage, painting, items such as that can be corrected far more easily than the blocked items. So once the last one that we did was December 13th, the last audit that we did. And that was right along Beacon Street, the center spots beside the sea line, because initially when we went out, we weren't able to do that. It was not very safe, to be quite honest, because what we tried to do initially was do the spots on the right side of Beacon Street, whichever way you're heading. Let's say you're heading east on Beacon Street. We were trying to do the right side, then cross over to take a look at the left. And we realized that was getting pretty dangerous. So we stayed on the right side initially. And then at the final audit that we did, we just went right down the left side, just pulling in. So we're able to get those spots as well. So I did take this report. I talked to Jed Fehrenbach, who is listed in there, and Aaron Shute, just to make sure that I had everybody's titles correct and everything else. And I told them I'd be publishing this at this meeting and for this meeting. But what I'd like to do is get everybody's feedback initially, and then I'd also like to submit this to the DPW by the BCOD as well. And there's a lot of information in there. And I'd rather not try to summarize it. I'd rather take your questions and then we can go from there. So I'm going to stop talking and I'm just going to ask if anybody has questions. And if anybody raises their hand, Sarah Kaplan, if you could tell me, I'd appreciate it. And we can just go right down the line and let everybody get their questions in.
I'm gonna stop sharing my screen because it makes it hard for me to see who's raising their hand.
Okay.
John Van Squag is first and Lynn Michek is second.
Okay, so John Van Scoyac, please go ahead.
And my only purpose is to, with an apology, just let everyone know I am here. Because I unfortunately couldn't get here right at the start of the meeting. And the other thing I have to make note of is I'm going to have to leave no later than 6:30 for another thing I have to do at Town Hall. So with that said, I'm interested right now in just listening to what other people have to say.
Okay, great. Thank you, John. So Lynn Michek, please go ahead.
Okay, just one thing, Jim, on the handicap placards, does that include handicap parking license plates that have the wheelchair symbol? Because some people just have the.
So the placards are not what you were registering. The posts with the signs are not placards. The placards are in your car.
No, okay, hang on. There's confusion here. There's confusion here.
Yeah, I didn't know if the data was, it also included like Jim and I didn't have a placard, we had the plate.
Yeah.
But how?
So
Was included.
I can answer this question. So I called the Registry of Motor Vehicles and I asked them for placards and plates, total of placards and plates in
Okay.
the town.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
So, yep. So, any other questions? Because what I'd like to do, I feel like we've all kind of been in agreement that there's one thing that I got to tell you this, there's one thing that I want to do on this report, or to gather data. And I don't, sometimes you start gathering so much data, it becomes almost paralysis, as they say, paralysis by analysis. And so I don't want to do that, but I would like to know where other cities and towns stand. And what I did here was I got a request form. I went to the registry of motor vehicles. I got a request to find out how many plates and placards there are issued in the town of Brookline. And then Jed Fehrenbach gave me all the numbers on the accessible parking. So there's 207 accessible parking spots. And I can't remember the number off of my top of my head, but it was over 2,000 plates and placards. So, I mean, literally that's 10% parking. Now, on the other hand, the same is true for all parking. Okay, I got that information as well, though I didn't put it in the report. There's about 40,000 Class D driver's licenses issued in Brookline. Okay, and we have about over 2,000 parking spots. That's street parking as well as parking lots and everything else. So there is there's consistency. Actually, we're a little bit above in percentage, but I would like to take a look at other towns and cities and what their numbers are, and then ultimately, I would think that our goal would be to see what we could do to increase the amount of accessible parking in the town. So that's what I'm thinking at this point.
I raised my hand.
Go ahead.
So I thought about this, and I'm not sure what if other towns have similar reports. I can't speak to any other town. I've not seen them, and it's not really something I've discussed with other ADA coordinators in my communication with them. Often it's somebody who's like brand new to their role, and they want to know what I've done, and this sort of thing is not something I've discussed with them. But I'm very happy to either reach out to ADA coordinators on your behalf and see if other towns have similar reports, or if they even just have numbers on how many accessible spots they have. I don't know I mean, I did not know that there were 2,000 plus plates and placards issued to people with disabilities in Brookline, and I wouldn't know that I could get that information from the RMV because I'd be concerned about privacy there.
Well, they're not issuing, they didn't give
They're
me
not giving you
names.
names, it's
They're not giving me
diagram
names and
data.
locations.
Yeah, so I would think that I just didn't know it was open for public, like I didn't know that data was open for consumption. So, but I could definitely reach out to Newton and other towns that are close to, like, have similar populations and ask them if, but like I also have connections in Worcester and other larger cities, but like I think that the best kind of uh comparison would be a town of similar size.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
I
I
would
agree.
check Cambridge.
I gotta tell you, Sarah
They
Lynn, I
have
was
such
thinking
an
about
active,
Cambridge.
you
I
what?
know. I was thinking about Cambridge as
Yeah,
well.
because they have had such an active disability. They
Yeah.
have more than a commission. They have, several staff people.
I
I
mean,
gotta tell you,
I'm in touch with Rachel a lot, so I'm happy to reach out to her.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you could ask her.
Um,
That'd be great.
And of
They-
course, I'll reach out to Jeannie, but like besides Cambridge and Newton, are there any other towns you'd specifically like me to reach out to?
no, no. I mean,
Okay.
if there's anything that you can find that is of similar size, terrific.
Okay.
Arlington,
Okay, please.
Arlington?
Arlington, yeah, they have an
Arlington.
active
Okay,
disability commission too.
Yeah, I was
okay,
gonna
let's,
say Arlington.
Cambridge,
okay.
Arlington,
Cambridge is much bigger than we are. I mean, they're
Yeah.
They are.
and Newton.
and Newton,
And then,
but Arlington could be useful.
I think the thing is about the percentage, not necessarily.
I think the
Yeah.
issue that, you've got that many
Necessarily
plates and
that they
placards.
had the same number, what would they be?
Henry,
Yeah,
I'm really
Henry,
sorry to say this, but you are breaking up. It's very
yeah.
hard to understand what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Oh, God,
You're only
sorry.
getting one,
Oh, no.
you're only getting
Word.
a couple of words and then you're gone. And I can see a hand up. I don't know who it is.
It's Henry.
Henry, yeah.
Okay. Um,
Just, is there any idea, if anybody has an idea about when you have that many plates and placards, how much parking you need? There's probably nothing out there.
I
about
mean, but
that would be
I'm-
very hard to
we
get.
know what we know what the state says that you need, it's is it 1 in 10? You need 10%? But
I-
like,
Does it say
because
that?
you-
I was gonna say, I don't know that it
or is
says
it
that.
5%? I don't know what
It's
the,
a parking lot.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, in
but
parking
street
lot.
parking, unfortunately, street parking has, I mean,
Okay.
Jim and I can talk about this. We went looking for a number in the code and it just doesn't exist.
yeah.
Well, you're right,
So,
just look at the whole town as a parking lot. So I think that would be a good way to go. That's Myra Burloff always did
Yeah.
that.
So if you look
Well-
at the percentage, we're closer to 10, which means if 5% is what's required in a parking lot, then we're double
yeah,
our requirements.
Yeah,
yeah, trust me. Okay, we meet that number easily. Because there's about, like I said, it's slightly over 2,000. I think it's 2,114 parking spots in Brookline, and we're at 207, which is over 10%. The amount of accessible parking in a parking lot, according to 521 CMR, the maximum is 4%. And that drops, believe it or not, that goes down to 2% as the parking lot gets larger. So it's not a consistent 4%. It's 4% when you have 25 spots or less.
Yeah.
Okay. Once that number once you go to 200 parking spots, it drops to 3%, meaning you only need 6 spots. And once you go higher than that, it drops to 4%. It drops to 2%.
So in like a parking garage, for example.
Yeah. Okay. So I
That's why it's so
kind of want to my overall thought would be to stay away from the code because it could come back to bite us,
yeah.
Yeah.
But Jim, one thing, and I don't know how many of those spots, but a lot of them have been requested by individuals and are near individuals' home.
Yeah.
And, while they can be used by anyone, it's unlikely they would be. So they're not in commercial areas.
That's
So
right.
we might just stick to commercial areas and
Yeah.
determine what percentage of the parking spaces in commercial areas are accessible.
Yes.
Nancy's hand was up.
Please, Nancy, go ahead.
Yeah, I was actually going to make the point that Sarah Lynn just made, which is that it's really what you're more, I think, should be focused on is areas where there's a high demand.
Yeah.
And to try to, I think Sarah Lynn had sort of, we talked about it on Beacon Street, where you can see, like a couple of blocks, there's a group of parking. If there's, if you could sort of try to think of it in terms of looking at, the areas of high demand and the ratio there.
Yeah.
Whether or not you want to look to the code or not, but I think you'll find, I don't know what the placement is, but if you pick out a couple of areas that you want to look at, whether it's along Beacon Street or I don't know if they consider the like the Center Street lot. I mean, that's a lot that would have where the code requirements would apply because that's a particular parking lot.
That's correct, yeah.
All right, so look at parking lots, but just maybe along Beacon Street and see what the percentage is. Because you're right, we get applications from individuals and they're in residential areas. I don't know that, if they ever actually add spots outside of particular resident requests. I mean, since I've been on the commission or the board, the transportation board, I don't recall any request being made outside of residential areas.
No,
Well,
there was one request for Harvard Street, and they did add 2 to Harvard Street.
Oh, yeah, there was one
But-
also for the church.
yeah,
Yeah.
for St. Mary's.
We
Yeah.
made that.
And then
Yeah, actually, Lynn Meachek and Henry and I made that request.
so Henry's hand was up, but it's down now, and then Lynn's hand is up.
Okay. Lynn, I'm gonna go to you. Go ahead.
I was, again, what Sarah, Lynn, and Nancy were
Right.
speaking about, that a lot of the spaces are in residential areas because a particular person requested it. But I know on Babcock Street, we're a very busy street. We have the Human Resource Institute Hospital on the corner. It's on Babcock. So my next door neighbor, I knew that they had requested a handicap spot, but it's often used not by them.
Yeah,
They don't have any parking in their building. They have to park down the road at a private home that leases out their spots. But often there'll be a car and the person will be possibly connected to the hospital. I don't know. I don't follow anybody. So, but they'll be there for all day. And then recently there was an out-of-state car with a placard in the shield. They were there for over, I think, 72 hours nonstop.
Wow.
So I don't know where I'm not going to question anything, but so the person the resident wouldn't be able to use that spot because it was it's open to the public. They're not private spots. I do know that in Boston, Jim and I had attended a meeting with the commissioner. I forgot her name.
Kristen McCosh.
Yes, and the issue of residential placards in the North End, because it's so densely populated, they were looking into having the spot for that individual person. I don't know where that
It
went.
never, I can tell you, it never went anywhere.
Never went in. Yeah, and I know they had
It's
discussed
not,
that.
it's not legal.
Okay, yeah. So they had brought that up at one of these meetings, but they're open to everyone. So
okay.
That kind of brings up another issue is that some of them, I think, like along Beacon Street, people use to commute to work. I mean, they use them while they're going to work. Like that sort of became clear in the Washington Square area when we moved that spot. This woman called up afterwards and she was furious because we had moved it. And it turned out she parked there every day, took the T to work. And I think that happens in the St. Mary's area too.
Yeah. Well,
But
People
I
with
think,
disabilities work, and sometimes they need to park in accessible spots.
I know, but I know, and you're allowed to do that, to do it, but it's frustrating,
Yeah.
But it could
Okay.
indicate, the need for more spots.
Yeah.
But,
So that, I mean, just to continue with this, I mean, that's what I'd like to do is just gather some data, make sure that we're all on the same page. And then there's two big things I'd like to do. The long term would be ultimately ask for more accessible parking. And
Yes.
we could do that, based on percentage numbers that we're receiving from other towns and based on usage. And then the other thing is to see, to turn this report into to the DPW and let them know that we voted on it. We agree that, this report is ready to be submitted. And then ask for their feedback on it.
That brings up Jim Mishek. He always used to say that you can't just be concerned with the accessible parking spaces because, you know, they could well be filled, and then but you can use another space with your accessible placard or license plate. Anyway, so they keep cutting down the number of parking spaces. So I think that's a good justification for us asking for an increase in numbers because they keep cutting down on the regular parking spaces and that reduces the supply for people who need accessible parking.
That sounds good.
And I think too, one of the, when we saw the garbage bins placed in the handicap parking spots,
Yeah,
that how do we educate the public about that? Because I wonder if the DPW, can they send something out with their billing or not to place your garbage barrels in the HP parking spots? Because,
So,
and I see that all the time.
so
Saw that.
the DPW and I worked on a public right of way infographic, and it went. And this was is a couple of years old now, and I don't see them putting it out anymore. We could definitely update it. And when it went out, DPW for of all the departments, strangely enough, I think DPW's communication strategy is really quite extensive. And they did a really good job. And they do it every winter when they're reminding everyone about shoveling. I think that they do reach a lot of people. So if maybe working with them on a, you know,
just so you know,
public right away campaign.
yeah, just so you know, this is in the report, okay? So, and it's part of the recommendations, is that there's stronger enforcement on people putting trash. Now, I don't want to come up with solutions for the DPW or for the town. I want to move this report to them, and if they have the solutions, terrific, then go ahead and begin to implement them.
Yeah.
But you know, that is one of the recommendations of the report, which is why I'd like to get approval on the report itself to submit it to the DPW. And at the same time, simultaneously, I can reach out to Jed Fehrenbach and start getting some numbers on not only the accessible parking, but how much of that is in residential areas, you know, and how, you know, what are the actual numbers in commercial areas, and gather the data from other towns as well, so that we'll have data to back up our recommendations.
One
It'd be
other,
nice, of course, if we knew, you know, if people who have the accessible parking placards and plates, what the need is, you know, if they find it hard to find a space and if there's a need for more. Ben Franco years ago suggested we do a needs survey. Not easy to do. We've never done it, but maybe we could think of that too.
Yeah, for long term, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I just don't know how
Yeah.
to reach those people.
Yeah.
I think I agree, Jim. My suggestion is that the commission vote on this tonight for wider distribution to DPW and the Transportation Board. But I would like to go through it for spelling and grammar with you because there were just some things I noticed. And so if you get a yes, but with edits, that would be great.
There have to be minor edits.
They're very minor. It's just
I don't,
it isn't spelled right in certain places, and I want to make sure that it is.
because I really, I gotta tell you the truth, I don't like to vote. I don't like to vote on things and then change them.
Oh, I understand.
Okay.
So you're
Yeah.
talking
And
about
so-
minor edits.
Like
Yeah.
the word signage isn't spelled correctly in the raw data that you
In the
collect
in the table.
in the table, and so I just want to go in and fix a couple of letters. It's literally all I want to do.
Okay. If I'll tell you what, if it's gonna be typos and putting a comma someplace,
Yeah, no,
that's
I'm
fine,
not changing,
okay?
I'm not changing
Otherwise,
content at all.
I don't wanna start changes because we think it might sound better and da, 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 da.
I
Okay,
motion that we
It's
approve it.
spelling and commas, and it's not even commas, it's
Okay.
spelling.
okay, I'm sorry. Henry, what did you say?
I motion that we approve it.
Okay, thank you. Can I get a second on that?
Second,
Thank you, Sarah Lynn and Lynn Meachek,
Yes.
uh, Joan Mahone,
Yes.
Elaine Ober,
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
thank you. Uh,
agreed.
Liz Stryer,
Yes.
and Henry made the motion, so I'm accepting that as as an aye, and Sarah Lynn seconded it. I'll take that as an aye. John Van Scoyac,
Sorry, yes,
and the chair votes aye. Okay, terrific. I'll submit this to Erin and Dan Murphy for their review, and we'll go from there.
If you can send me the data, like if you can send me the report, I'll just make the small edits for you and send it right back.
I will. I'll send it in Word format so that
Awesome.
you can make those edits.
All right,
Terrific.
thank
Thank
you.
you. Okay, what's next?
Let me go back to, I'm so sorry. Agenda. So we're now in old business.
Yep.
And we're talking about the accessibility products potential purchases vote, the APPP.
Okay. I like to call it the app. Okay. Um,
So I
so
did make a spreadsheet,
yeah,
and I
can you
didn't put it in
share
the
your screen?
packet because I didn't know how. So,
Okay. Yeah, it's an Excel sheet and you have to convert it and everything else.
yeah,
So, but if we can take a look at the Excel sheet,
I can show this. I'm going to share my screen right
yeah,
now. All right, so it's on my screen.
okay,
I did three columns.
okay,
First column is projects presented in January 2026 meeting.
yeah.
I can read them for you.
No,
And then the
don't.
second column is the projects priced out by February 2026 meeting.
Yeah,
And then I have notes. And then I wanted to make sure I categorize the votes. So I just
yes,
created a column that says voted on in March meeting. And then
okay,
I created a column that says next steps, just so I don't forget anything.
okay, terrific.
Um, so
So let's start at I want to start with a review, okay, so that everybody knows where we're at.
So
Um,
and I just went through them based on the January conversation from the first
yeah,
person who presented to the last.
okay,
So the first project is
okay,
therapeutic recreation program funding. That project was
yeah,
dropped.
okay. Hang on, sir. I
Mhm.
want to go through this with everybody so that everybody knows where we're at.
Yeah.
Okay. So the what we did was everybody came up, or not everybody came up with ideas, but people that came up with ideas presented them to the commission, and then we discussed them, and then we asked them to price them out, and people came back with prices. So we have not yet voted on moving ahead with these. So what I'd like to do tonight is take that
Mhm.
vote on moving ahead with these ideas. Now, there are some ideas that we already kind of weeded out, and there are others that were discussed and priced, and everybody kind of liked them. So I'd like to vote on the ideas that we can move ahead with, and then also update anything that we don't have pricing on, or that might have to be discussed in further detail later on.
Okay.
But I would like to take the opportunity to vote on some of these ideas where we already have pricing. So if someone can tell me the first item on the list.
With a price.
Yeah, okay.
So the first item on the list with a price is actually the creation of the local local business push button door grant program, you mentioned, uh, 1,500 and a maximum of 5 doors. So I did that's 7,500 for the first year of the program.
Okay. So hang on one second on that one because um I I wanted, what do you mean the first one with the price?
So there are other projects that were either not priced out or not discussed in February's meeting that I also have listed.
And so let me ask why they're listed.
They're listed because they were mentioned in January's meeting. And I didn't want to just drop them.
Okay, so let's start at the top then. How many are on this list then?
So in total, there are 14 projects.
Okay, and then let's
Or
go right,
13, I'm sorry, I skipped a
let's
line.
go, then I want to go right down the list so everybody knows where we're at with every one of these projects. I don't want anybody to walk away feeling disappointed.
Okay.
So start at the top.
The first project is the therapeutic recreation program funding. But in February, that project was dropped.
Okay, so then if that's the case, then let's move to the next project.
The special education, or Special Olympics donation, it wasn't discussed further in February, so I don't have a number on it.
That's really part of the recreation program, and I think it should be dropped also.
Okay.
I mean, if we don't know where to send the money and we don't know what to
I agree.
do, I say that we drop it as well.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll just put down dropped under.
Well, hang on a second. I wanna know if we should quickly run a vote so that everybody agrees that we should drop it.
I don't know if you need to vote on dropping something, because it's not, I think you.
Can I
Sarah,
do it? Isn't there, who knows these laws really well? There's some way to vote. You say, I vote, I'll take a
It's-
vote in something, and then you have to
You can
speak
take a
up.
straw poll.
I don't want to do a straw poll. There's an expression for this. Somebody knows it. Come.
No.
There's an expression. Do you say, I'm going to vote, and then you only say something if you disagree?
Well, but we can't do that because we're not in person. You can't just raise your hand. I can't see everybody while also looking at my screen. That's why we
Okay.
do a roll call.
I'm gonna have to look this up now for the next meeting. All right. Okay, so then I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna say, let's drop the donation and we might revisit that in the future. Okay,
Yep.
next item.
So the next item on the list, which was the Lincoln Adaptive Learning Center playground funding, but no amount was provided in February.
And
So
then
I don't know how to advance it.
if I could just comment, I know that Sarah, you had mentioned, they had mentioned an accessible swing, but you said that the building department had to do that. So what I'm proposing is, what if we gave a one-time donation to the the adaptive learning for disabled students, a one-time donation at an amount that people would vote on, and they could use the money in their learning center as they feel, is needed. I don't know if people would agree to that.
I'm
but
not sure you're legally allowed to do that with this money.
I see. Okay.
Yeah,
I think I think you
I-
have to have you
One,
have to have a purpose, a known purpose in order to spend it.
okay, so we couldn't do the swing. That's what she had mentioned.
no, and it's not that we couldn't do the swing, Lynn.
Mhm.
And I'm sorry for continuing to say this. I don't want to get involved in construction projects. I just don't.
Right.
They can get out of control very quickly, even a simple swing.
And a swing would still be a CIP.
And if anybody falls off that swing and then it goes back, I just don't want to get involved
Okay. I mean,
with
I wouldn't be
construction.
constructing it. It would, I guess,
Okay.
I don't know, maybe I wasn't clear enough on it I mean, it's,
It would still be a CIP project. The town would still have to take it on as a
Okay.
CIP.
Okay.
It's too complicated.
Folks, I have enough information here to say, let's drop it and move on.
sorry.
All right, so the next project to discuss is the creation of the local business push button door grant program.
Okay, so I'm just gonna update everybody on this. There's no need for a vote on this one because I spoke to Meredith Mooney and she said that they're going to be redoing that program, that facade loan program. And she'd like to talk to me about that when they do that, but they're not gonna start redoing that program until April. So when that time comes, I will talk to Meredith Mooney and I will come back to this commission with this idea. But for now, that idea has to be put on hold.
Can I just ask,
Yeah.
what's written here seems to be specific to doors.
Yeah.
Could it be to other issues like a one step up and how to eliminate that?
Well, that's what the facade
I
loan
think that's
program
what,
is
yeah,
for.
that's what the facade program is. So let Meredith deal with that. You
If you
know,
want to change the front door of your business, including whether or not it has a step, you can get funding through the facade loan program.
Right,
But the facade loan program it's a loan, not a grant.
right.
And
It says maximum 5 doors per year.
that was something that Jim
yeah,
suggested in February's meeting, and I put it in notes.
yeah. And the reason I did that, Sarah Lynn, was because I didn't want to leave it open and, you know, what we do if all of a sudden 15 requests came in. You know what I mean? All of a sudden we could be up to 50 grand, you
Well,
know, so
it might not be bad, but anyways, we'll
yeah,
come back to it.
yeah,
We'll come back to it.
I
yeah.
wrote down no vote tonight. And
I don't want to vote on it. I just want to put it on hold because there's nothing to vote on.
Yeah, we'll put it on hold.
I want to put it on, there's nothing to vote on.
Okay.
Didn't present anything.
The next thing is the Andrew Leland speaker and author event.
Okay.
Um,
This is
Liz,
this is something that Liz presented. I don't know if we have to vote on this because we don't have the numbers. What I wanted to recommend here was to get the subcommittee on the event subcommittee rolling so that we can get some real hard numbers because
so
Liz, let me finish, Sarah Kaplan, please. Okay. So Liz has already come back with the number for Andrew Leland, but what we don't have is other numbers. We don't know how much it's going to cost to rent a spot. Granted, there's some people reaching out saying that they'll give it to us for free, but there were also issues of making sure that we had refreshments there and things of this nature. So what I would like to vote on, I don't even know if we have to vote on it, is getting the subcommittee going again.
you don't have to vote on it. You just have to decide who's in the subcommittee.
Well, we already know who's in the subcommittee. It's Lynn Meachek, Joan Mahone, and myself.
Yes.
And I think and we could reach out to Liz Stryer as well with that subcommittee to
Sure.
get additional information with Andrew Leland.
Yeah, I can work with you guys on it.
So that's
Okay.
4 people, as long as you don't have a quorum, you can do
Nope.
4.
Okay, so I'm gonna reach out to everybody after this meeting, probably tomorrow, to get our first subcommittee meeting going based on Sarah Kaplan's schedule and based on the Zoom schedule rather. And when we can get started, and then we will get rolling, and hopefully we'll have a good event to move forward with.
So I wrote move to event subcommittee.
Agreed.
So, okay, now we're talking.
Somebody, go ahead. Somebody's talking, so let's talk one person at a time, please.
You've got $3,500 there. Do we want to just go ahead and approve $3,500
I
for the event?
I happen to agree with Jim on this because that's just the speaker fee and the maximum and Liz's estimated round trip car service, but we also need to figure out things like a food budget. And so I believe you should vote on one number for the event
Yeah.
Who
as
is
a
this
group, and you can do
Andrew
it next
Lee?
month.
Andrew Leland wrote the book Country of the Blind.
And
Okay.
also
And-
Far from the Tree.
I'm sorry, say that again, please.
He also wrote Far from the Tree.
Oh, really?
Oh, I didn't know he had another book either.
I think so. Let me look.
Oh. He's a professor of disability studies at Wesleyan University as well.
He's also the grandson of one of my favorite people, Neil Simon.
No, I was wrong. It's Andrew Solomon who wrote Far from the.
Oh, God.
Okay,
So I would like to get the subcommittee going again, come up with a solid budget number and bring that back to the commission. If
the next thing
everybody's
on
in
the list
agreement with
is,
that, if I want to make sure everybody agrees with that.
I'm
I
fine with
agree.
that.
sure.
Yep.
sure.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, great.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead.
The next thing on the list is the purchase of access tracks. This has a number of $999. Elaine said that would be the cost of a set of 12. My only concern is storage. I spoke to Caitlin about this because Lloyd is in and out. And she's still not sure where we would put it, but it is something we can work on with building.
Okay, I'll say this about this, okay? I like the idea of this, and this is just my opinion. I think that we should vote on this to go ahead and purchase it because they're very good. It's a very good idea, and it's very helpful for people with disabilities. And I'm not trying to be rude about this, but storage and stuff like that is beyond this commission's purview. I mean, that's the town's problem. And I would say, let's vote on it. And then you, Sarah Kaplan, can go to whoever and say, the commission voted on this and they're gonna buy these and we need to find a place to put them.
Okay.
But I don't see how this commission can solve those kinds of problems.
I'm not suggesting you do. It's just something I wanted to know.
Okay,
This is
all right.
Joan Mahone. I don't know how to put my hand up, but can you describe exactly what the access track is? I mean, I haven't sense. A general.
So
I can.
it's a company.
Elaine, go
that-
ahead, please.
They're well,
Hold on.
they're 3-foot square sturdy rubber pads that interlock, and you can use them anywhere really. You can use them. There you go. You can use them on the beach. You can use them on a rough field. It's to enable people in wheelchairs to get to places they want to be more easily. So
Excellent.
And
Yeah.
12 of them would be 36 feet.
yeah,
It's quite a large, so they're really, I know them from hearing about them being used on beaches.
beaches.
But they're also good for grass because not every wheelchair can handle grass. I saw this picture and went, ooh, could I borrow them for my wedding? I
I hope so.
They're and then they can be used on trails. They carry 1,000 pounds and they can be connected over and over again. So you can make a really long track with them.
So even if you just borrowed 4 of them, you could lay down the 4 and then take 3 and put it on the front and keep going that way.
You can, yes, the configuration is flexible.
Yeah, and they're good for playgrounds too.
Excellent. Good.
Yeah, they're really. I saw them demonstrated last year at a conference, and I was just blown away.
So it's funny because you said 12 and I'm not, but they have, I'm sorry. I'm having issues getting to the screen. So on this page, there are orders of 5, 10, or 20, and you can just click the link, but you're suggesting 12?
That's interesting because the information sheet I was working from said sets of 4.
Interesting.
So maybe
So
you want to do 10?
if you did 10, I'm just clicking the link. If you did 10, they cost $770.
That's retail, but because we're a whatchamacallit,
Because the town is a nonprofit?
we're a civic organization or something like that, we get a discount. I don't know what it is. I could go back to the woman who sent me the first proposal.
Can we vote on the 770? And if it comes in less than that, then terrific.
So can I just make one other suggestion?
Go ahead.
20 is 1540.
Mhm.
Does,
That's commercial, so it would be less than that.
Probably be less than that, yeah.
I don't know. I don't object to that.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
The other thing they'll need to do is find a way to do some PR about this and let people know that they exist and how
So
to.
I can, definitely when we're ordering them, I can reach out to them and ask if they have any sort of flyers or how they suggest we advertise them. Or I can create one like I did with the ramp loan program
Mhm.
and, or take the ramp loan program and combine it with access tracks and call it something else. And create one flyer that does both.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Okay.
I'm not worried about advertising it. I'm actually just worried about how many.
Folks,
know.
I don't want to be the bad guy all night long here, but I want to get through every one of these items. I want to vote to purchase it and worry about all this other stuff afterwards.
So why don't you do this? Can you authorize, if you're comfortable with 20, it's
Yep.
1540 commercial. If you grant 1540, I can promise you it will be less.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I'd like to do.
Give me a
Okay.
second.
Okay.
So somebody needs to make the motion?
Yes.
I make a motion, we buy 20 of these access tracks.
Okay.
I second it.
Okay, that was Lynn
second
seconding,
the
so I'm
motion.
going to do a roll call. Lynn already seconded it, so I'm going to do a roll call vote. Joan Mahone,
Aye, yes.
Elaine Ober,
Yes.
Liz Stryer,
Yes.
Henry Winkleman,
Yeah,
John Van Scoyac,
Yes,
and the chair votes aye.
I didn't vote, Lynn. That wasn't me before, but yes.
Who
It was
seconded?
Elaine Over who seconded.
I'm
Oh,
sorry, Elaine. I'm sorry, Elaine.
So
All right.
we have it's unanimous. I just want to be clear.
Unanimous. Yep, let's move on to the next item.
All right, so I'm just writing this down so I have it. 20 tracks at 1540. What the heck? Okay, great. Give me 1 second.
less than.
I'm
That's just
gonna
joking.
stop sharing for a second and move. I just can't see what I'm doing. All right, and then share again. Okay. So the next thing on the list is the purchase of chroma glasses kits. Elaine said in February's meeting that an outdoor kit costs $620, and which that's 4 sets of glasses. And then an indoor kit costs somewhere between $720 and $850. Which is 6 glasses. So 4 in the indoor kit, 6 in the outdoor kit. That's a total of 10 glasses. I maxed that, so 620 plus 850 is a maximum of $1,470. And
I
my question is, how many kits do you want?
I think that we should leave it right there for now and see how much usage there is. And we could distribute these to the library. And if it's something that's a big hit, we can always look at purchasing more in the future.
So at the rate of 1470, we'll
Yes,
buy 1 indoor kit and 1 outdoor kit, and I'll work with the library about putting them in the library of things.
distribution and everything else.
Yeah, all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I need a motion, a second, and a vote.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I'll
A
make a
motion. I'll motion.
Henry made the
second that.
motion. Do we have a second?
second. Sarah,
Second by Sarah Lynn Allaire. So I'm going to go do the roll call vote. Lynn Meachek,
Yes.
Joan Mahone, Joan,
Yes.
Elaine Ober,
Yes.
Liz Stryer,
Yes.
Henry Winkleman made the motion,
Yes.
and John Van Scoyac.
yes.
And the chair votes aye. Okay, terrific. Next item.
1 second, I'm just typing.
Yep.
At 1470. Okay. Okay, so the next thing on the list is a sponsorship for ASL classes. I'd like to finish what I need to say and then we can decide what we want to do next. I checked my email. An old email from 3 years ago said that the commission
Wow.
donated $2,000 toward this program, and then the library matched that donation at another 2,000. So the total cost of the program was $4,000. But that is from 2023. I don't know what Deaf Inc.'s current rates are, and I would like to call Deaf Inc. and speak to the library about whether or not they want to do this and if they can work with you. This
Okay,
is, yeah, I'm not sure that this is something we can vote on tonight.
okay, so I'm not sure that we can vote on it either, but I don't want this to get dropped. So what I'd like to suggest is can we call, I don't know who took,
There's a
what was
woman
the
named Jessica who handles community programming.
okay, so, and she replaced Miss Weissman, was that her name?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, okay. So, okay, can we reach out to her and we'll find out, A, is the library willing to put up half? Okay. If if so, terrific, we can also provide half. But are they willing to host it at one of their conference rooms? We can talk to Deaf Inc. and begin to promote it through the library. I mean, last time I thought this thing was a big hit. I mean, there was
It
like
was. They
25
had
people
25
signed
people.
up.
They had 25
Yeah,
people sign up, and I believe 19 of them finished the course, which is a
yeah.
very high retention rate.
So I mean, this is a big hit, and I'm a little disappointed that it was dropped after 2023, to be quite honest. But it was, so I'd like to try to reactivate it if we can.
So I'm
What's
writing
the
And
myself
story
a note.
about?
Talk to Jessica about ASL class with Deaf Inc.
yeah,
Get Deaf Inc. rate.
yeah.
And
The
Go
next
ahead, Sarah Lynn.
step, as I recall, there's a next step.
Yeah.
But I forget what
Oh
the
yeah, there was an
situation was
advanced
with that.
class. Yeah, yeah,
An advanced class, and people, can we
yeah,
do the advanced class too?
yeah,
yeah.
if we wanted to, I mean, I can get rates for both and bring them back to a future meeting.
Okay,
Okay. Why don't we do that? And um and we'll go from there.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm writing myself the notes to say, talk to Jessica about the ASL class, get Deaf Inc. rate, bring back to BCOD.
And then we'll vote on it at that time. Okay.
That's fine.
What's next?
Next thing on the list is benches around town, especially in Brookline Village. This project was not discussed in February, and we don't have any numbers.
I thought we discussed the fact that that would be a town price cost thing.
I that was not my understanding in January's meeting. It's on the list. I just want to know what you want to do with it.
is Nancy still here?
Yes, yes.
Or John, I don't know if we got the Complete Streets money for that project they were doing on Washington Street, which included Brookline Village.
I don't know the answer to that.
You know, they put the proposal in, I just don't know if they got the money.
Yeah, I mean, that I gotta tell you the truth, that's another issue because if we do that, then all of a sudden they get the money for the redesign of Washington Street, they're just gonna rip the benches out.
Yeah.
I'd rather
that's what
just
I'm
put this thing
thinking,
on
yeah.
hold.
Yeah,
I'd rather just put this
Yeah,
thing on
part of the
hold.
master plan.
Yeah,
So what do you want me to mark it as? Do you want me to mark it as dropped?
I'd mark it as dropped.
Okay. That's fine. The next thing is the pilot you know I can't pronounce this.
Yeah,
Maybe
Ira.
that shouldn't be dropped. Maybe that should be on hold.
The
Okay.
pilot IRA program.
Okay. That's another one that I need to speak to IT. IT is trying to figure out how this would work. So I don't want to give up on this one, but I do have to put it on hold for now.
remind me what it is.
This is, there's two things, as far as I know, there's two things involved with IRA. And I did not know that they actually have features for the hard of hearing and the deaf. Um, I use it all the time. I used it just today. I use it every day. I mean, literally every day. Okay. And so that is a company. You call the company, and let's just say, for instance, I do it on my computer sometimes. Okay. I do like for some of the stuff that I work on with my company. And I have graphic design, as an example. I have a graphic design guy who does pictures for me, but he's a graphic design guy, he's not a construction guy. And I ask him to put a picture of an excavator onto a slide. He might put a picture of a front end loader, right? So I will call Ira and I will literally ask them to describe what is that photograph on my screen, and they will describe it.
So I
Today I was walking down the street and I got a little bit lost. I was walking down to the Abbey for lunch. Yes, Henry, I went twice this week, just so you know. So I was walking down to the Abbey for lunch, and I got somehow I got lost. Not lost, but I just all of a sudden had no orientation whatsoever. So I called Ira and they directed me right across the street, right down to the Abbey. It's an outstanding service. It's an for the visually impaired and the blind. It is an outstanding service. I don't know how it applies to the hard of hearing and deaf, but they say that their features there are just as efficient as it is for the blind. It's
it's
an
a
outstanding service.
Sarah Lynn, it's a real-time person who can interpret for you
Yeah.
either because you're blind or deaf.
Yeah, it's not AI or anything. You get a real
It's not
person on
AI,
the
it's an
line.
actual human being, and they're all
Yeah.
certified.
Yeah,
So how
and
would
trained.
this program work?
So what I'd like to do is, the idea was to put up a certain amount of, I want to talk to them, find out, can we put up a certain amount of money to make Brookline IRA free for IRA, so that anybody in the town who's blind, visually impaired, or hard of hearing or deaf can use IRA for free. Because I can tell you, it's expensive. Okay. As I said, I have it, and I have it for my company, and it's like $1 a minute, you know, and so it's not cheap. So what I would like to do, what the proposal was to put up a certain amount of money and let it be free for all of Brookline and see how long it takes to chew up that money. Okay. And let's say that it chews it up, whatever the rate is. We could go back to the town and say, this is something the town should really consider doing. And then come up with a let Ira in the town hammer it out as to how much it's going to cost to make the town completely free. I mean, I think it's what the state of Colorado is totally free.
Yes.
They passed
Yes.
it at the state level. Some major towns, cities, and stuff like that have done this.
They work with the New York Public Schools, for example, Bank of America, Starbucks. You walk
Yeah.
into Starbucks, IRA is free.
Yeah, Bank of America, IRA's free. Certain locations, it's free. And like I said, I think the entire state of Colorado is free.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Um,
So anyways, I'd
they
like to
came to
just
the
put,
town looking to see if we wanted to do it, and our language access coordinator and I are very excited about it, but there's no funding for this right now. So I'm gonna be really honest.
yeah, I mean, that's why I'd like to do the pilot program. And then we'd have real data that we could go back and say, look, this is in high demand.
But IT would have to vet it first, and I think they're still
Yeah.
working on that.
I know. So that's why I want to put it on hold. Okay.
I think doing
So
a pilot, this is Joan, I think doing
yeah,
a pilot program sounds, like a great first step and introduce people to the program and a town to it. So I don't see why we couldn't do that.
yeah.
Well,
Like we said,
we have to get permission from IT to do it. IT would have to decide that the town, it passed the IT town smell test or
yeah,
whatever.
what I'm trying to do is avoid the whole funding issue by putting up a certain amount of money. What that money is, I have to hammer that out with Ira. I'm trying to avoid the funding issue by saying we'll pay for the pilot just to gather the data.
Right.
Okay,
We'll find
so
out.
again,
what it costs.
It's a long.
exactly. So again, what I'd like to do is put this one on hold.
Okay, I marked it as on hold.
Okay, let's move on.
We have two more. And we're almost done, guys. We
Okay.
have the purchase of the ramps, a 3-foot, a 6-foot, and a 12-foot. I just checked the numbers to make sure I was correct. They're all correct. That I'm using the exact same company that we bought our last set from, according to Lloyd.
Yeah.
If you were to sponsor another 4-foot, because they don't do a 3-foot anymore, a 4-foot, a 6-foot, and a 12-foot, it would cost $1,107.99.
I would not object to this. I mean, these things are being rented, taken regularly, right?
At least every other month, and I've definitely gotten a month where I don't have two to give out.
Wow.
Okay, then I
Make a- make a
definitely
motion-
want to do it.
Yeah, I make a motion, we approve this.
I second
Okay,
it.
okay, so we have a motion from Sarah Lynn, seconded by Elaine. Lynn Meachek,
Yes.
Elaine already voted, Joan Mahone,
Yes.
Liz Stryer,
Yes.
Henry Winkleman,
Hold on.
Henry.
Henry, he's here.
Okay, I'm gonna go to John
I
Van
can
Scoyac.
see his screen, but
Yes.
he's on mute.
Okay, we got a yes from John Van Scoyac,
Yes.
and
Henry's got a
Henry?
thumbs up. We can do that.
okay, terrific, and the chair votes aye. That's a done deal.
Okay,
Let's
great.
move on.
This is the Braille embosser. The purchase from the iRe Braille embosser printer and the software. The entire thing cost $2,290. It would be set up in my office, and then we would be able to print documents in Braille upon request.
The question is need, and then. does
We've
some-
only gotten one request for Braille. I've done them through a private company. It took several weeks to get that information. Luckily, it wasn't anything requested for like town meeting. Um,
So
I
one
think to
request
build
in
it
what
and they-
period of time?
what?
One request in what period of time?
The entire time I've worked for Brookline. But I'm gonna say this, I believe it's a build it and they will come situation. People don't make requests when they don't think I have the ability.
Do you think Newton has one?
I don't know and I don't care, Sarah Lynn.
And then there's
I
that
don't work for
organization
Newton.
down on Ivy Street. Do they have one?
Excuse me?
You know this organization that's down on Ivy Street?
The Ivy Street School?
No,
Carol.
it's,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Oh, no,
It's a-
MABB.
Map.
It's, Massachusetts Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
We don't have a formal relationship with them. I'm not gonna go ask if we can use their printer.
well, you could set up a formal relationship. I mean,
I think Sarah's point, Sarah Kaplan's point is that I agree, and I do agree that if you build it, they will come. And if people know that you have this, the embosser, the brailer, they will get used. And even if it's so valuable for someone who does need that even if it's not 10 people in 6 months, if it's 10 people in a year or less, it's still, I think.
no, it's one person in 5 years, Joan.
I've been here for
Or
8,
10
Sarah Lynn.
years.
I'm fully aware that, but like at the same time, Sarah Lynn, like residents do not ask for things they cannot get. That's why we had to create a language access program.
What do Liz and Jim think? I'll go with their opinion.
I'll ask Liz for her opinion.
Wait, I've raised my hand.
I have another issue, but so Henry, since you raised your hand, go ahead.
I really support this idea, but I'm concerned about the 12 footers. I just don't know where we're going to store it, and that you need big
Henry,
people to
I'm
move
sorry,
the
you must be
12-foot.
fading. Henry, you must be fading in and out because this is a completely different thing.
The 12-foot ramp's already been voted on, Henry. And
The ramps were already voted on. You gave a
I know, I
thumbs
was
up.
trying to Okay,
Sorry.
yep.
Um,
You can always
so,
vote no, Sarah Lynn, but
Jim, what is your issue?
but, well, my other issue on this item is, this is an accessibility thing, and I kind of wonder why the town isn't paying for it to begin with.
I mean, they will if we get the requests, but just like they will if they get the ASL requests. If we get the request, and the town did pay for the request when it was asked. We did.
I
Well,
think, I
1 in
think we should
10
have some,
years, I mean, isn't that the way to go?
Sarah Lynn, when we made the request, when we asked for the documents, they did not come back for several weeks. If somebody needs an agenda, it's not several weeks from now.
I'm gonna, this is a up and down issue. I honestly, I can see it from both sides. And so
Can
I
just
would,
say
I would like somebody to make the motion and just force the vote and see what happens.
You can force the vote.
well,
Yeah,
can
but then I have to make the motion.
Make the motion.
I don't want to make the motion.
All right,
That's what I'm saying.
This is Joan, and I don't know why I don't know how to raise my hand, but I think that people who can benefit from having Braille, I don't think we know how many people benefit from the use of the embosser, or but I think it speaks very well of the town to have this tool for people to use, for people in the community to use, for the town to use, just like you have Braille everywhere, in the public arena. And I think it's a valuable step to take for the town in terms of, it's not universal design because that doesn't fall in that category, but to show our concern for people who do need these adaptive type things, whether you want to call it adaptive, accessible, or whatever.
Okay.
It's an important.
Joan, okay, hang on a second, sir, Kevin.
Can I just say something?
Okay. Yeah, please go ahead.
I think of Braille because I work with people who use Braille all the time as simply another language. So if someone needed something in Spanish, we would provide it. If they needed it in Korean, we would provide it. This is really the same thing. And I just, I'm hoping that there's at least one school or in town that has one. But I think for the town not to have one is just really bad.
Okay. I was gonna say after Joan, I was gonna say, Joan, you've convinced me. Okay, so you're right. It's something that we should have. If people wish to abstain, I completely understand. But Joan did convince me, and Elaine put the topping on it there. So I'm gonna go ahead and make the motion to purchase this for 2,000. How much is the money?
$2,290.
It's not a whole lot of money, and so I'm gonna say I make the motion to purchase it for 2,290.
And I
And
second.
then
Okay, and Joan seconded it.
So we have a motion
So-
on the floor.
We do. So we have to take the vote. Okay, so Sarah Lynn Allaire.
Abstain.
Okay. Joan
Well, no,
Mahone made the
actually,
second.
I'll change it to no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Joan Mahone made the second. So Lynn Meachek,
yes,
Elaine Ober,
yes.
Liz Stryer,
Yes.
Henry Winkleman,
yes.
and John Van Scoya.
He's no longer here.
Okay.
He had to step away.
But we have we still have quorum and we still have
You
the
still
vote,
have quorum,
right?
so we still have a
Okay.
vote.
You got it. Okay. So what's next?
So it passed. We need
Yes,
to
it did.
purchase. Okay. And that's it. That's the last one on the list.
Okay. So I'm going to ask, Sarah Kaplan, I'll get in touch with you and we will go ahead and start to make these purchases and make the distribution of these products. Okay. And
I
that's
appreciate
great.
everyone's hard work and
Well-
willingness to go through this list tonight.
We're working, this is going to be very helpful to a lot of people. So this is really good.
Would you
If
like me to take a
anybody,
minute? Would you like me to take a minute and add up all the numbers so I know, we know how much we're taking out of the fund?
yeah, why don't you do that while I say one more thing, okay?
Okay.
So we did put some items on hold here, okay? So we'll come back to these, but in the meantime, if other items come up that you feel should come before the commission, please, let's do that. I mean, Sarah Lynn Allaire is the treasurer now, and she can tell us how much money we have and where we're going to go with this. But all these little items make everybody's lives a little bit better. And even now, I'd say I don't know what the final number is that Sarah Kaplan's going to give us here in a minute, but I think it's pretty short money, you know, compared to the impact that it's going to have. So I will, as we go forward, make sure that on every agenda, not every agenda, but maybe every other agenda, we'll put it in there as, product purchase update. Does anybody have a new idea that they'd like to present? And we can go ahead and get that product to help people
have
with
the
their
number.
day-to-day tasks. Go ahead. What is it?
We are spending $6,407.99.
I
Wow.
mean, it's still not,
Yeah.
I don't want to spend money.
You're still sitting on
Yay, well spent.
$80,000.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to spend for the sake of spending, but still it's a drop in the bucket,
That's
it's a
Yeah.
drop in the
You know
bucket.
that entryway project, I think that's where we could spend a lot of money and be very useful.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I'm gonna, like I said, I'll be working with Meredith when around April.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
and
And
when it
then
comes
the
back
event.
around,
The
and
event
that'll,
is relatively small potatoes too.
absolutely. Oh,
So I
yeah.
think that, that entryway thing is where we can spend a lot of the money.
And it will have a big impact too.
Yeah.
Big impact.
All right,
So,
I'm gonna start, we can meet, Jim, if not tomorrow, we'll meet next week to talk about it.
you got it.
Next on the list is schedule event subcommittee, because I want to get this on the books now.
Okay, I mean,
Actually on the
so,
agenda.
okay, so what do we got available for next week?
So next week, I have to hold, I've offered some meeting times to people, but I am currently open on Monday the 6th. Well, I would need to, yeah, I can still do Monday. Monday from like 10 a.m. to noon is technically open, or after 3 p.m. to 5. Tuesday the 17th,
I'm booked on Tuesday.
okay.
Do we want to
Wednesday,
do this? Can you two do this offline?
no, I want to get it on the books.
I think I put it on the schedule for that very reason, Sarah Lynn. I put it on the agenda.
Because we've been having trouble
Meetings
getting the
between the
event
two of you.
subcommittee going. So
Good.
I need to pick a date and a time. It's an hour.
Okay. Sarah Kaplan, let me see. I put this on the agenda for that very reason. I wanted to make sure that this thing gets off the ground. Okay, so go ahead, go to the next, again, I'm booked Tuesday.
Wednesday, I'm pretty wide open. In fact, technically you have me from 10 a.m. to 4.
Okay, what about
And
Thursday?
then Thursday, I'm open in the morning. I have a meeting at 1 p.m., but I'm otherwise open.
Okay, so let's hang on. So let's go back to Monday.
One
I'll
second.
ask Joan and Lynn, are you open Monday morning?
Yes.
No, I'm not. I'm just
Okay.
kidding. I'm working Monday. I'm available at 3:00. I'll be at the Lawrence School till 2:30.
What about
Okay.
Wednesday?
Wednesday, I'm working again. I'll be available at 3:00. I'm at the Lawrence.
So what about Thursday?
I have to go check. 1 second. I'm so sorry. A minute. So Thursday's the 19th, correct? So
Yes.
Thursday the 19th.
I'm available all day.
Okay,
I can
Joan,
offer 10 a.m., 11 a.m., or 12.
we don't know about Joan yet,
I'm
Sarah.
fine. anytime.
Okay.
Mornings are great.
And, okay, Liz, could you participate in that meeting?
Yes, you said it's a Thursday morning.
Yes.
Thursday morning, the 19th.
I can do
Okay,
it.
go ahead and book it then.
So 10 a.m., 11 a.m. or 12.
10,
Okay.
That's good
That's
for me
fine.
too.
okay,
Okay.
let's move on to the next item.
And we're meeting at the
Let
town.
me just ask, is there a leader for the subcommittee?
And
Well, right
Jim's
now it's
gonna
gonna be,
there. He'll chair it.
it's gonna be me,
is it,
Okay.
and is this gonna be a Zoom meeting, Jim?
Yes.
yes.
It'd be Zoom, okay,
I will send out the invitation next week. 'Cause
thank
we
you.
have
Got
a-
it.
All right. Next on the agenda is the select board presentation.
Oh, well, the select board presentation, I think I told everybody in the email. I got moved, so I got moved off the select board presentation. I was supposed to do it last night. And there was the Zero Emissions Commission, I guess, that had already been bumped. So they needed to go with them, so they put them in there. So they asked me if I wanted to do it next week. And initially I said yes, but then I found out it was at the golf course and it was during the day. So I passed on that. So it's going to be the 24th. The 24th, it'll be at the town hall with the regular scheduled 5:30 meeting.
Okay.
Okay. So, let, so that's the time I have right now, and I'm sure that that one's going to be fine. Okay, what's
Then-
next?
Then we're into updates. Transportation board liaison update, Nancy.
Yeah, I don't have anything specific other than I did at the last Transportation Board meeting, I mentioned the Disability Commission's idea about taking a survey and possibly requesting additional accessible parking. And they, the commission appeared to be receptive to the idea. Brian Kane's suggestion was that the commission come up with a specific proposal, which I guess is something that you're working on now based
Yeah.
on the earlier report. So I think that's their understanding of how this would happen is you come up with a specific proposal and the Transportation Board would consider it. And I'm sure staff is willing to work with you,
Okay.
based on any information you need or suggestions, what their reaction is, what they might suggest, given, the sort of numbers, they might be helpful. I would definitely work with them.
Okay, great. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it earlier, and we got to gather some more data. I do like Sarah Lynn's idea of perhaps running a survey. I don't know how to do that, and I
So-
wouldn't even know how to outreach to so many people, but I would love to get the feedback, especially from people that have those placards. But that's confidential information that, I'm never going to get that from the thing. But
My office did what's called a disparity study, and this was a couple years ago. It took a year. It was a very difficult thing to get residents to tell us, especially residents who were poor or disabled or spoke languages other than English, the things that they needed from us.
yeah,
It's hard to find them and it's hard to get them to fill out these forms. But
uh,
I can talk to Caitlin about how we did it if you want to know.
yeah, I would like that, and I think that this would be different. I mean, asking people who might be low income, personal information, I can see where they would not want to answer that question. But this is more of a generalized question. I mean, we could even form the questions to make sure that they don't feel, um, uh, like their privacy is being invaded.
All right,
You
let me
know,
talk to Caitlin about how we did it, and then maybe either she can come to a meeting and talk about it, or she can give me enough information. This was a project that happened when I think it was my first or second year, so I was there, but I don't have.
I remember it, to be quite honest. So I don't think it was your first or second year, because I
Okay.
remember that disparity survey.
The
Okay.
town sends out materials every so often, not often, but to everybody, and it would be
That's
best,
their town clerk usually.
Okay,
but
so,
whatever, anyways, that would, if we could slip something in there, would be the easiest way.
yeah, okay. I
Um,
agree. I agree. So, Sarah, if you can talk to Caitlin, ask how you did that thing. Maybe they did it through the town clerk. I don't know, whatever, but we got to get it'd be nice to get the message out.
All right, let me talk to Caitlin and I'll see what she says.
Okay, you got it.
The next is select board liaison update. Unfortunately, John Meskoyak is not here.
Okay, next,
Pet Act update.
that would be Lynn,
So they,
Lynn Meechek.
yes, they had a meeting in February, and Richard Murphy presented the comprehensive plan and development process, and they, had this kind of 6 themes, and one of them was, of course, mobility and accessibility. I think, did we have that presentation too? I'm trying to think if we had.
I don't remember a mobility and accessibility.
It was a long presentation, and again, from me, the highlight was, they're looking into mobility and accessibility in the town, and it's just a very long. I think it was also a survey that was done. I believe I filled it out, and they said that most of the people that filled out the survey were 60 plus years of age. They did not get a lot of young people to fill it out, and that process is now closed. So they'll be collecting all that data.
Who gave this report?
It was Richard Murphy. It was a presentation, a discussion of the comprehensive plan development process. Presenter Richard Murphy.
And Richard Murphy's on the transportation board, is that correct?
I don't know. Is he? Oh,
No,
yeah, he must.
There is Dan Murphy in DPW.
No.
I don't know Richard Murphy.
This is Richard.
He's a town meeting member from precinct 16.
Yeah,
Oh.
Richard Murphy presented the Hayes School thing to us.
Well, that's who did that. Okay, right.
I'm just not sure why he wouldn't present to the commission on this issue. That's
It was
the commission's bread and butter.
But I think that was the comprehensive plan.
right. It was the
I don't think it was the comprehensive and accessibility plan. I think it was the comprehensive.
it was the comprehensive plan development process, and they had like 6 themes, and of the 6, one of them was mobility and accessibility. It had to do with housing, thriving commercial areas, open spaces, services for and facilities, community well-being. But they were looking into mobility and accessibility.
I wonder if Richard could present that section to the commission.
That survey is closed.
But
It's
the
over and done
results
with.
would still be important.
Yeah, so we'll get the results when he gets
He's a
them gathered.
biker, so it was a lot about biking and that sort of thing.
Mhm. So that was one. And the other, of course, the big issue was the snow, and that the town there was just so much snow, they weren't able to complete all the sidewalk and ramps to the crosswalks. People were having to climb over them. It was, and how they prioritize things. And it was just so much they did what they could. And I think that was an issue, is making sure they had access for emergency vehicles. They had, but the curb cuts were filled with snow, even along Babcock Street.
Maybe Brookline should do what Mom Donnie did in New York. Put shovels out, tell people you can get paid if you go and shovel, and make it a community effort. I'm half in jest, but it's not a bad idea.
But the town would also have to pay for it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But it's a nominal amount of money because you get volunteers.
And yeah, it was difficult. Like people taking, like you're right, people taking responsibility. And one of the issues where the town on some of the main streets, the plow does the sidewalk on Babcock, but then you have your driveway plowed and the snow's all piled up again.
Right.
So that's an issue. So it was difficult, and that was one of the big things that now it's all melted. It's almost like, wait, what did this all really happen? But it was pretty bad and slippery, very icy sidewalks.
I was on crutches this winter, and
Joan, I agree. I think that was a good idea, Ma'am Donnie.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think, this is just going forward, but I live on a street where that people are very civic minded, and everybody is out there helping one another. And if you can somehow instigate that town-wide, where people work as teams and help and facilitate what the town can't do. People come out and help each other. And,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be a cost to the town, but just have teams of people.
Yeah.
I'm raising my hand only because the funny thing for me is I expected a lot of calls from residents this winter. Didn't get any.
Oh, wow.
Like I got one call from one resident and it was about a parking lot where he wanted to park and go to his PT appointment and they kept putting the snow in the accessible spot.
Oh,
It's literally the only call I got.
I was,
That was
Hey,
it.
hang on a second. Hey, Liz, did I see something going around on the RP group about people at the State House?
Yes, yeah, there was a hearing, I think last week, with people advocating for better snow removal in Boston because it's too difficult to get around.
Mhm.
If you're mobility impaired or vision impaired, any sort of impairment, just trying to, like it was in Brookline, there's, completely inaccessible places to cross the street and
Yeah,
everything. Yeah, there was a hearing about it last week.
okay, and I think one of Tina's members spoke there, is that correct?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Is it- Yeah. And yeah, so I know that there was a big meeting in Boston about this. I caught a little bit of it on the news, I saw it and I was surprised. So
I'm just
uh,
I'm letting the commission know because it was odd. I normally do get calls from residents in the winter.
yeah,
It was, and I wonder if it was so much snow that the residents were like, "Yeah, of course I can't get out," and so
yeah,
and it was so
it,
cold.
It was so
and it was so
cold here
cold.
too.
They
Yeah.
just were like, "I can't get out. It's too cold. I'm not gonna bother." But there was only one person all winter.
wow. I was going to check Brookline online to see if anyone put any.
Well, but I don't have access to Brook Online, not the back end.
Oh, you don't? Oh,
No. I do not work for DPW. I don't have access to the back end of Brook Online.
okay,
So I can't get that information.
yeah.
Well,
A
maybe
little
Okay.
story
when
that
they
I
give
have,
it to
this
you,
is,
Sarah?
They wouldn't give it to me because what I do when I get calls is I call them and we and we come up with a solution. They wouldn't want to feed that information back to me if they already have it. Um, I wonder, I can ask Erin or one of her staff about the kind of complaints they got this winter. It was odd because I normally get at least a few. And the only call wasn't even about a cut through, it was about, or a curb cut. It was about a parking lot. That was it.
okay. All
Um,
right. What's next?
Subcommittee updates.
Okay,
The only thing I think you need to do is close the select board plan subcommittee.
okay. Yeah, that's done. So, um, all right. So I'd like, yeah, that's a good. I'd like to make a motion to close the select board presentation subcommittee.
Second.
Okay, Sarah Lynn seconded, so Joan Mahone,
yes.
Lynn Meachek,
Yes.
Henry Winkleman,
Yes.
Elaine Ober.
She's absent. She had to leave.
Okay, yeah, she did tell me she was gonna have to jump out. Liz Stryer,
Yes.
and the chair votes aye. So the subcommittee for the select board is closed, and don't forget that presentation is gonna be on the 24th. What's next?
Next is announcements.
Okay. Um, the only the only announcement I would like to talk about is there is that big wheelchair legislation update tomorrow, I think it is.
Yes.
So if anybody gets a chance, I think Lynn Meachek plans on going.
Yes.
Is that something you can do by Zoom or no?
Yes. There is.
Yes, there is a Zoom link.
Okay, there is a Zoom link. I'll probably tune in for a little while, but I do have a meeting I gotta run to. But it would be good to have that information. So Lynn, if you're there or if anybody can gather that information, I'd like to have it for when I present to the select board. Because that's on the presentation. So that would be very helpful because I'm sure that I'm probably going to get asked a question regarding that.
I just also want to point out that in that same email, there's a PCA rally at the State House, I believe, on March 19th, because the governor is threatening to cut services.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I heard about that as well.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Lynn,
right.
they're a person, right?
I don't know about the rally.
No, Lynn, I'm sorry, I'm talking to Lynn.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
asking- You'll be at the wheelchair.
I'm attending that meeting tomorrow.
In person, right?
Yes, I don't know if they're gonna let me speak, but it just sounded like when you're on the Zoom, you can put something in the chat.
Yeah.
I'm the woman she presented to our committee last year, correct?
Desert,
Yes.
Destiny?
Yeah.
Destiny, yeah, she did.
I met her at the ADA rally too. She was there.
So
Okay.
what I'm wondering, what's the timeline on this, do you know?
I don't believe there is one.
I wonder if we should start working on our reps and our senator to get them to support it, if we possibly can.
Jake Auchincloss and
No, not Jake. This would be our state people.
The state people,
So
State.
Vitolo and Cynthia Cream and them.
Cynthia
right.
Cream, Senator Tommy
Yeah.
Vitolo is the major one.
Yeah,
And then there's, in my area, precinct 16, it's Bill McGregor, and then there's somebody for the area of Brookline around Pond Avenue. I don't know who that
He's-
other one is.
If he's there tomorrow, Tommy Vitolo, I've met him before.
Do you
Yeah.
think, was there any indication he would be?
He wasn't presenting. There's two, let me say, printed up let's see. That's not it. I printed up the information, so I have it for tomorrow. Let's see. Who were
okay. Folks, I don't want to make any action on this because it's not on the agenda.
Yeah. Okay. So
So
I'll get information tomorrow. So
yeah,
Well,
But-
could we have this at the next meeting because this is going to be a long-standing issue, and see if what we could do, I think we can make calls to their offices.
yeah, because
yeah, we can put it, I'll send out a notice to request all of you to give me ideas for the agenda, so.
it's going to be
And put it on there and we'll see what we can do.
it's Representative Jim O'Day, Senator John Cronin, and Senator Pavel Payano are going to make remarks.
Okay,
I don't know them.
Well,
I don't know them either. I think O'Day, I could be wrong. I think O'Day is out in northern Mass. I'm pretty sure he's like Stoneham. So my family's from Stoneham, but I could be wrong about that.
Okay.
Okay. Sarah Kaplan, when's the next meeting?
The next meeting is April 8th, because April starts on a Wednesday. So April 1st is a Wednesday, so our meeting is April 8th.
Okay, so it comes up fast. Okay. Next meeting will be April 8th at 5:30 p.m. And what time do we have?
It is 7:19.
Is it really? All right, so it's 7:19. I will make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
And Joan Mahone,
Joan?
Yes,
Joan?
sorry, I leaned away. Sorry, yes.
Lynn Meachek,
Yes.
Liz Stryer,
Yes.
Henry Winkleman,
Hen-
Henry Winkleman.
Henry? Completely frozen.
Okay.
Yes.
And the chair
Worst
votes
internet
aye.
connection today.
Yep. The chair votes aye. Folks, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Night, everybody.
The 19th.
Bye.
Bye.